You might think the time you go to bed doesn't matter, but after 70, it could mean the difference between waking up clear-headed and energetic, or living each day in a fog of fatigue and forgetfulness. I've seen this firsthand, time and again, in my decade of working with older adults. Let me tell you a story that still sticks with me. Mr. Walter was a 77-year-old retired firefighter, strong-willed and independent. He prided himself on his routine, midnight bedtime, 7 hours of sleep, no exceptions. But despite those 7 hours, he kept waking up feeling exhausted, irritable, and increasingly forgetful. He came to me asking for stronger sleep meds. But after listening to his habits, I told him what I'll share with you today. The problem wasn't how long he slept. It was when. You see, after age 70, your body begins to shift in ways that often go unnoticed. One of the most significant changes happens in your internal clock, your circadian rhythm. Your brain starts releasing melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep, earlier in the evening. And cortisol, which helps you wake up, starts rising earlier in the morning. These hormonal shifts silently nudge your body toward a new bedtime, often between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. But here's where many people go wrong. They ignore these natural signals. They try to stay up like they used to. Watch TV, scroll through phones, cling to habits from a younger time. The result? Poorer sleep quality, groggy mornings, and over time, increased risk of cognitive decline, heart issues, mood disorders, even loss of independence. The consequences are serious, but the solution is simple. Research from Mayo Clinic shows that seniors who adjust their bedtime to this golden hour of 9 to 10 p.m. experience a 45% improvement in sleep quality. That's not just theory, I've seen it with my own patients. People who couldn't sleep through the night suddenly did. People on sleeping pills were able to taper off. People with memory issues started to regain clarity. This isn't about adding hours of sleep. It's about aligning with your body's natural rhythm and catching what I call the sleep wave, that subtle window when your brain is ready for deep, restorative rest. Wait too long and the wave passes. Ride it, and sleep becomes easier, deeper, more healing. Now I want to pause and ask you something. What time do you usually go to bed? Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Or do you feel like you've barely slept at all? If this resonates with you, then stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to show you how one small change in your evening routine could transform your sleep, your memory, your mood, and even your heart health. And if you're finding this helpful already, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling me your usual bedtime. Chances are, your story will help someone else feel less alone. We read every comment, and this is a community where your voice matters. So what comes next? We're going to dive into the real science behind these sleep changes, why they happen, what they mean, and how you can work with your body, not against it. You're about to discover something that could change your nights and your days starting tonight. Let's get into it. Ready to find out what's really happening inside your body? Let's dive into the biology of sleep after 70. Part 1. Why sleep changes after 70. It happens quietly, almost imperceptibly. One day you find yourself getting sleepy around 8:30 p.m., even though you've always been a night owl. You fall asleep in your chair, but then wake up at 2 a.m., wide awake and frustrated. And even when you think you've had a full night's rest, you still wake up feeling foggy, tired, or disconnected. For many people over 70, this pattern becomes all too familiar. But here's what I've learned after over a decade of working with seniors. These changes aren't just random or inevitable signs of old age. They're actually the result of measurable biological shifts that most people don't even know are happening. In fact, more than 65% of older adults experience significant changes in their sleep patterns after the age of 70, according to the 2024 Sleep Foundation. One of the most striking differences is the reduction of deep sleep. Research shows that our brains produce up to 40% fewer slow-wave sleep cycles in our 70s compared to our 50s. And these slow waves are critical. They're the restorative phase of sleep that helps with everything from muscle recovery to memory consolidation. So when you miss out on them, even if you spent 8 hours in bed, your body and mind may still feel depleted. But deep sleep isn't the only thing that changes. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs your sleep-wake cycle, also shifts as you age. In younger adults, melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep, starts rising around 9 or 10 p.m., reaching its peak later in the night. But in older adults, melatonin production often begins earlier, sometimes even late in the afternoon. Meanwhile, cortisol, the hormone that helps you wake up, starts rising earlier in the morning. The result? Your body begins nudging you toward an earlier bedtime, even if your habits haven't caught up. This shift is natural. It's not a flaw, not a disease. It's your body trying to adapt to new energy rhythms, conserve resources, and protect your brain. But here's the problem. Most people resist it. They feel that going to bed at 9 p.m. is too early, so they push through. They watch one more episode. They keep the lights bright. They scroll on their phone. They go to bed at midnight, just like they did in their 40s. And that's where the trouble starts. When you ignore your body's cues and stay up too late, you miss the wave of melatonin your brain was trying to ride. That natural drowsiness disappears, and when you finally lie down to sleep, your body is no longer aligned hormonally. The result is shallow, fragmented sleep, full of interruptions, early awakenings, and a restless mind. Over time, this mismatch between your natural rhythm and your bedtime can lead to serious health consequences: elevated blood pressure, memory loss, anxiety, emotional instability, and even a higher risk of falls or nighttime confusion. I've seen this firsthand with so many patients. One that stands out is Mrs. Elaine, a 74-year-old former librarian who came to my clinic feeling like a shell of herself. "I'm in bed for 8 hours," she told me, "but I wake up feeling like I haven't slept at all." She had trouble concentrating, felt snappier with loved ones, and was increasingly forgetful. After tracking her sleep patterns, we discovered the issue wasn't duration, it was timing. She stayed up until 11:30 p.m. every night reading, then struggled to fall asleep, woke up multiple times, and rose early with no energy. We shifted her entire evening routine. No screens or bright lights after 8:30 p.m. A consistent bedtime of 9:30. Within 2 weeks, her clarity began to return. She was less irritable, more focused, and finally waking up with energy. What happened to her wasn't magic, it was biology. And it applies to you too. If you've noticed that your sleep feels different now, that's because it is. Your body is no longer operating under the same rules. After 70, sleep becomes lighter, more fragile, and far more dependent on timing. The earlier melatonin release and reduced deep sleep mean that your window for quality rest is narrower. If you don't catch that window, typically between 9 and 10 p.m., you risk spending the night chasing rest that never quite comes. Studies from Harvard and Stanford back this up. Seniors who adjust their bedtime to match their shifted melatonin rhythm report significantly better sleep efficiency, fewer nighttime awakenings, and improved emotional stability. They also perform better on cognitive tests and experience fewer signs of depression and anxiety. What's even more remarkable is how quickly these improvements can appear, many within just 2 weeks of shifting their sleep schedule. Now, maybe you've always been someone who stays up late. That's okay, habits run deep. But the truth is, your body has already changed. And if you want to sleep better, feel better, and stay mentally sharp, it's time to work with your body instead of against it. Think of it like changing your diet when your digestion changes. You're not giving up who you are. You're just adapting wisely. Start small. Move your bedtime 15 minutes earlier each week. Dim the lights in the evening. Shut off screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Take a warm bath, listen to gentle music, or read under soft lighting. These aren't just sleep tips, they're sleep signals, telling your brain it's safe to relax, safe to rest. Because ultimately, what your body needs most after 70 isn't just more sleep, it's better sleep. Sleep that follows your biology. Sleep that restores your mind. Sleep that protects your independence, your memory, and your peace. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Now that you understand why your sleep changes so drastically after 70, let's look at what happens when you actually align your habits with your biology, because in the next section, we're going to dive into the life-changing benefits of sleeping at the right time. From improved heart health to sharper memory and even reduced medication use, you'll see just how powerful this one shift can be. Part 2. The Golden Hour. Why sleeping between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. can transform your health after 70. Imagine if changing your bedtime by just 1 hour could improve your memory, protect your heart, and help you wake up feeling truly refreshed. Would you do it? For most people over 70, this one simple adjustment makes more difference than any pill or supplement. Yet many have never been told this secret. There is a very specific golden hour for sleep between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. that aligns perfectly with the way your body now functions. And choosing to sleep during this window can radically improve your health, energy, and quality of life. Now that we've talked about why your sleep patterns change after 70, let's get to the practical question. When should you actually go to bed? The answer might surprise you, not because it's complicated, but because it's so simple. You see, our internal sleep clocks shift earlier as we age. The body begins to release melatonin, the hormone that prepares us for sleep, much sooner in the evening, often as early as 7:30 or 8 p.m. Meanwhile, the hormone cortisol, which signals wakefulness, starts rising earlier in the morning. This means the ideal sleep time also shifts earlier. Unfortunately, most people keep going to bed at their usual times, 11 p.m., midnight, or even later, completely missing the body's natural sleep wave. Here's where it gets interesting. Studies from the Mayo Clinic and Stanford University have found that seniors who consistently go to bed between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. report significantly better sleep. One Mayo Clinic study in 2024 tracked 500 seniors over 6 months. Those who adjusted their sleep schedule to match this window reported a 45% improvement in sleep quality, 73% experienced fewer awakenings, and nearly 2/3 reduced or completely stopped using sleep medication. That's not just encouraging, it's transformative. To help you visualize why this time matters, think of your sleep cycle like catching a train. The 9 to 10 p.m. window is the express line to deep, restorative rest. Miss it, and you're left waiting on a slower, less comfortable ride that makes too many stops, waking up in the middle of the night, feeling unrest in the morning, and dragging through the day. But if you catch that train, by honoring the signals your body sends, you're more likely to glide into sleep, stay asleep, and wake up with the clarity and energy you've been missing. Let me share a real story that illustrates this beautifully. Mrs. Williams, a 75-year-old retired nurse, came to me after struggling for years with insomnia. "I don't want to take pills," she said, "but I don't know what else to do." She had developed a habit of staying up until midnight, even when she felt sleepy around 8:30. She'd force herself to stay awake with bright lights, television, and caffeine. Her body was exhausted, but her brain couldn't shut off when she finally lay down. Together, we made one simple change: lights off at 9 p.m. and in bed by 9:30. She resisted at first. It felt too early, too boring, too different from her routine. But after just 2 weeks, the transformation was astonishing. "I feel like I'm 60 again," she told me. "I sleep through the night, I have energy in the morning, and I haven't touched a sleeping pill since." That's the power of aligning with your internal sleep wave. If this sounds dramatic, let me assure you, it's not an isolated case. In my practice, I've seen hundreds of patients report similar results once they made the shift. Why? Because this timing is rooted in biology. It works with your natural hormone cycle, not against it. After 70, your melatonin peaks earlier in the evening, and your brain becomes more sensitive to light and stimulation. If you stay up too late, you suppress melatonin with artificial light, confuse your circadian rhythm, and make it harder to fall and stay asleep. Going to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. allows your body to fully engage the sleep processes that are becoming more fragile with age. And it's not just about sleep, it's about everything sleep affects: your heart, your brain, your mood, your balance, your immune system. Think of sleep as a nightly reset for your entire body. Miss that reset too often, and things start to unravel. Higher blood pressure, increased inflammation, mental fatigue, irritability, and slower healing. On the other hand, when you consistently catch your body's natural bedtime, you give your brain the time it needs to clear toxins, regulate hormones, and repair itself. That's why this golden hour is so powerful. It's a window into better aging, and it's fully within your control. You might be thinking, "But I've always been a night person." I understand. Change can feel uncomfortable, especially when it means adjusting routines that have been with you for decades. But your body has already changed, and adapting to that change isn't about losing freedom, it's about gaining strength. The earlier you sleep, the better your body functions. And that means more energy for the things you love, more clarity in conversations, less dependence on medications, and perhaps most importantly, a greater sense of calm and stability in your daily life. So what can you do right now? Start by observing when you naturally feel tired in the evening. Don't fight it. Begin winding down earlier, dimming the lights after dinner, avoiding screens an hour before bed, and giving yourself permission to rest when your body says it's ready. Aim to be in bed by 9:30 at the latest. Even if you don't fall asleep right away, you're helping your brain realign with the rhythm it's been trying to follow. And just like Mrs. Williams, you may find that your sleep improves within a matter of days. This 1-hour window might seem simple, but its effects are profound. It's not a magic cure, but it is a powerful key. And it's free. It doesn't require prescriptions, devices, or complicated routines. Just a willingness to listen to your body, and give it the rest it's been asking for. Now that you know when to go to bed for optimal health, the next logical question is, what actually happens to your health when you do this consistently? In the next section, we're going to dive into the extraordinary health benefits you can unlock just by sleeping at the right time, starting with your heart, your brain, and your mood. Are you ready? Let's explore the rewards that await when you finally let your body sleep the way it was designed to. Part 3. 3 powerful benefits of sleeping at the right time. Your heart, brain, and mood depend on it. What if I told you that one small change in your bedtime could protect your heart, sharpen your memory, and improve your emotional well-being without adding any medication, supplements, or expensive gadgets? It sounds too simple to be true, but after working with older adults for over a decade, I've seen this transformation happen again and again. And now, backed by research from leading institutions like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the Mayo Clinic, we know this change is not just anecdotal, it's proven. Going to bed during the golden sleep window of 9 to 10 p.m. isn't just about sleep. It's about tapping into the body's most powerful natural healing cycle. When you align with your internal clock, your body doesn't just rest, it repairs, it restores. It protects you in ways that modern medicine still can't replicate. And in this section, we're going to explore 3 extraordinary benefits that arise when you consistently go to bed at the right time. Let's start with your heart. Cardiovascular health is one of the first systems impacted by poor sleep, and one of the first to improve when your sleep timing is optimized. In a recent 2024 study from Johns Hopkins University, seniors who went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. reported a 45% reduction in cardiovascular issues, including high blood pressure, arrhythmia, and morning hypertension. Why? Because the heart, like the rest of your body, follows a rhythm. It expects downtime at night, especially during the early phases of sleep. When you delay sleep past your melatonin peak, your heart misses the opportunity to slow down, recover, and regulate properly. I've seen patients with years of borderline blood pressure stabilize within weeks, not by changing medication, but by changing when they sleep. One patient, Mr. Ramos, age 76, was facing the possibility of a second heart procedure. But after consistently going to bed at 9:30 for just 1 month, his morning readings improved so dramatically that his cardiologist postponed any invasive intervention. I didn't believe it at first, Mr. Ramos told me. But now, I'd rather lose a late-night movie than lose another year of my life. Next, let's talk about the brain. Memory loss, foggy thinking, and slowed reaction times are all linked to disrupted sleep, especially in seniors. But the encouraging news is that adjusting your bedtime can reverse much of this cognitive decline. Sleep is when the brain cleans itself. Literally, there's a system called the glymphatic system that flushes out toxins, including beta amyloid, which is closely linked to Alzheimer's disease. But here's the catch. This cleaning process happens most effectively during the first few hours of sleep, especially during deep non-REM stages, which are triggered when you go to bed early. According to cognitive tests performed by Stanford researchers in 2024, seniors who followed a 9 to 10 p.m. sleep schedule showed a 32% improvement in memory function and mental clarity after just 6 weeks. In my clinic, I remember a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, both in their mid-70s. They came in distressed. Mrs. Thompson had started forgetting to take her medications. Mr. Thompson couldn't recall conversations from the day before. Their children were worried it was early-stage dementia. We didn't start with medication. We started with routine. Early bedtime. Lights dimmed at 8:30. No screens. Calm music before bed. Within a month, both were sharper, more engaged, and even laughing again. It's like the fog lifted, Mrs. Thompson said with tears in her eyes. That's the power of giving your brain the rest it needs, at the time it needs it. The third benefit is perhaps the most underrated, and yet, in many ways, the most life-changing: emotional stability. Anxiety and depression are often viewed as psychological issues, but for seniors, they're deeply tied to sleep quality. When your sleep is fragmented or misaligned with your circadian rhythm, your body struggles to regulate mood-related hormones like serotonin and cortisol. You feel more stressed, less patient, and less connected to joy. But when you honor your body's bedtime cues, your nervous system gets a chance to reset. You start the day feeling centered rather than reactive. A 2024 survey conducted by the American Geriatric Association found that older adults who consistently slept between 9 and 10 p.m. experienced a 58% reduction in anxiety and depression symptoms. One woman I worked with, Miss Carol, 80 years old, had lost interest in most of her hobbies. Her daughter said, "She's just not herself anymore." Miss Carol didn't want antidepressants, so we started with sleep. Within 2 weeks of maintaining a consistent 9:30 p.m. bedtime, her mood brightened. She began painting again, writing postcards to her grandchildren. "It's strange," she said. "I didn't know tiredness could feel like sadness. Now I feel like myself again." That's what happens when we stop ignoring the emotional toll of poor sleep. Each of these benefits, stronger heart, sharper mind, steadier mood, is significant on its own. But together, they represent something even greater: the return of vitality, the return of agency over your own well-being, the return of mornings you can enjoy, memories you can hold on to, and moments you can be fully present for. And none of this requires a miracle, just a shift, a deliberate choice to go to bed when your body is ready. Now, you might be wondering, is it too late for me to see these benefits? The answer is no. I've seen men and women in their late 80s make this change and experience powerful improvements. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. But you do have to start. One night, one routine, 1 hour earlier, and then another. It's a ripple effect, and it starts with intention. So if you've ever wished for more energy, better memory, or simply to feel like yourself again, consider this your sign. The path forward is more natural, more accessible, and more powerful than you think. And it begins not with what you do during the day, but with what time you close your eyes at night. Coming up next, we'll look at how to make this shift smoothly and sustainably, especially if you've had the same sleep habits for decades. I'll share simple, science-backed strategies to help you fall asleep earlier, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling like your best self. Trust me, you're closer than you think. Part 4, 5 simple and natural sleep tips for seniors. How to fall asleep faster without pills. If changing your bedtime is the first step, then learning how to fall asleep naturally, without pills or frustration, is the second. And for many older adults, this step feels like the hardest. You may have tried everything: warm milk, counting sheep, even prescription sleep aids. But here's the truth that most doctors forget to say out loud. Good sleep after 70 isn't about tricks, it's about rhythm. It's about teaching your body how to rest again, gently, consistently, and naturally. And the good news? You can absolutely do it. With the right small changes, you can fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up with a sense of clarity you thought you'd lost forever. Let's get practical. In this section, I'm going to walk you through 5 science-backed, time-tested tips that I've used with hundreds of patients over the last decade. These aren't just nice-to-try suggestions. These are tools, simple, low-cost, effective tools that can help you reclaim your nights and restore your days. Tip 1. Start a 60-minute wind-down routine. Sleep doesn't just happen when you hit the pillow. It starts long before that. One of the biggest mistakes people make, especially in retirement, is treating bedtime like an on-off switch. But after 70, your body needs a gradual transition into sleep. That's where a wind-down routine comes in. Begin at least 60 minutes before your target bedtime. For example, 8:30 if you want to sleep by 9:30. Dim the lights. Turn off bright screens. Switch to warmer lighting. Lamps or amber bulbs work best. Engage in calming activities like light reading, listening to gentle music, doing a puzzle, knitting, or journaling. One of my patients, Mr. Ellis, 82 years old, started doing 15 minutes of gentle stretching and then writing down one thing he was grateful for each night. Within 2 weeks, his nighttime anxiety had vanished. Why? Because your brain needs signals. These small cues tell your body it's time to rest and help naturally trigger melatonin release. Tip 2. Control your light exposure, especially in the morning. One of the most powerful ways to reset your circadian rhythm is through light. Most people focus on avoiding blue light at night, which is important, but not enough people know that morning light is even more essential. Get at least 20 to 30 minutes of natural sunlight within the first hour after waking. Open your curtains, sip your tea by a sunny window, or better yet, go for a short walk. Light in the morning tells your brain, this is day, helping you feel alert, and making you feel sleepy earlier that evening. This cycle strengthens with consistency. Many seniors I've worked with noticed that after just 4 to 5 days of consistent morning light exposure, they were falling asleep faster at night. Combine this with reduced screen use after 7 p.m., and you've created the perfect day-night balance your brain craves. Tip 3. Eat early and eat light. Digestion and sleep don't mix. Eating heavy meals or snacking too late can disturb your sleep more than you realize. Your body works harder to process food, your heart rate stays elevated, and your brain remains subtly active, all of which prevent deep rest. My recommendation is simple. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime, ideally by 6:30 or 7 p.m. Keep it light, lean protein, steamed vegetables, a bit of healthy fat. Avoid fried foods, spicy dishes, alcohol, and caffeine after 2 p.m. And if you need a bedtime snack, choose something gentle, a few almonds, a slice of banana, or a small cup of herbal tea like chamomile or lemon balm. I had one client, Mrs. Nina, who used to eat dinner at 8:30 while watching late-night news. Her sleep was a disaster. Once we shifted her dinner to 6:15 and turned off the TV at 7 o'clock, her insomnia reduced dramatically, without a single pill. Tip 4. Create a sleep sanctuary. Your bedroom should be a place that makes your body sigh with relief. But too often, our sleep space becomes filled with distractions. Bright clocks, buzzing devices, old newspapers, piles of clothes. If your brain sees your room as chaotic, it won't feel safe enough to relax. So let's fix that. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and quiet. Invest in blackout curtains if you're sensitive to early morning light. Remove electronics, or at least keep your phone face down and across the room. Add softness, cozy blankets, quiet textures, maybe even a diffuser with lavender. These aren't luxuries. They're signals of peace. One of the best transformations I've witnessed was with a widowed client who turned her cluttered bedroom into a soft, minimalist sanctuary with fresh white bedding and soft yellow light. Her sleep, which had been broken for years, returned, along with a new sense of calm. Tip 5. Shift your sleep schedule gradually, 15 minutes at a time. One of the biggest reasons people fail at changing their bedtime is because they try to do too much too fast. If you've been going to bed at midnight for decades, suddenly trying to sleep at 9 p.m. will likely backfire. That's why I teach the 15-minute rule. Go to bed just 15 minutes earlier each week. Let your body adjust. This process respects your current rhythm while gently nudging it toward what works best for your biology today. For example, if you're used to sleeping at 11:30, aim for 11:15 this week, then 11 o'clock next week. Eventually, your body will learn to fall asleep around 9:30 p.m. without resistance, without frustration. And the best part? You'll actually feel sleepy when your head hits the pillow. That's when real rest begins. Each of these tips builds on the same message. Your body still knows how to sleep, but you need to give it the right environment, rhythm, and respect. Sleep after 70 is not a battle to win, but a rhythm to return to. It's not about tricking your brain. It's about reminding it what peace feels like. And peace, more than anything, is what allows rest. So if you've struggled with sleep for years or felt like you were too old to fix it, I'm here to tell you, you're not. You're not broken. You're just out of sync. And sync can be restored, one breath, one evening, one good decision at a time. Now that you've learned these practical tools for falling asleep more naturally, you might be wondering, what kind of long-term changes can I expect if I stick with these habits? In the next and final section, we'll bring everything together, the science, the stories, and the solutions, and give you a clear path forward to protect your independence, your memory, and your strength through better sleep. Let's finish strong. After everything we've explored together, from the way sleep changes after 70, to the golden hour that unlocks deeper rest, to the incredible health benefits and practical steps to help you fall asleep naturally, I want to leave you with this one truth. Your sleep is not just a routine. It's your greatest tool for staying strong, sharp, and independent as you age. It's easy to believe that sleep problems are just part of getting older. I've heard it more times than I can count. It's just age, people say. That's life now. But no, it doesn't have to be. The reason we struggle is not because we're broken. It's because we were never taught how to sleep with an aging body. And once you understand that your internal rhythm has changed, that your hormones work differently, that your body speaks a quieter language than it used to, then everything shifts. Suddenly, what felt like a losing battle becomes a partnership. You and your body finally working together again. I've watched patients in their 70s, 80s, even 90s transform their energy, improve their mood, and recover the mental clarity they thought they'd lost forever. And not with pills, not with expensive machines or strange supplements, but with simple changes: going to bed earlier, dimming the lights, getting morning sun, eating earlier, being gentle with themselves. These small shifts made all the difference. And that's what I want for you. I want you to wake up with the strength to get out of bed without needing help. I want your mornings to feel hopeful, not heavy. I want you to enjoy your coffee with a clear head, to remember your granddaughter's birthday without writing it down, to laugh more and worry less. And so much of that begins not with willpower, not with therapy, but with sleep. So if you've made it this far in the video, first, I want to say thank you. Your presence here means you're someone who cares about your health. You're not giving up. You're willing to learn, to adapt, to take control of what you can, and that is powerful. But now, I have one simple challenge for you. Don't just watch this video. Live it. Choose one change, just one, and start tonight. Maybe it's turning off your screens earlier. Maybe it's dimming the lights after dinner. Maybe it's choosing to go to bed at 9:30 instead of 11:30. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. Because the truth is, sleep builds health silently. It doesn't shout like pain does. It doesn't demand attention like illness does. But every night, while you rest, your body is rebuilding. Your brain is healing. Your heart is recovering. And if you give it the right time and the right space, it will reward you in ways you can feel and see and live. I know change can feel hard, especially when you've had the same habits for decades. But I also know this: you are stronger than your routines. You are wiser than your doubts. And you are never too old to heal. Maybe no one told you that before. Maybe you've lived too long feeling like decline is inevitable. But I'm here to tell you, it's not too late. You are not too late. You have the power to sleep better, to think better, to feel better. And tonight is a perfect night to begin. If this video helped you in any way, if something in it clicked, or inspired you, or gave you hope, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below sharing what resonated with you most. What change are you planning to try first? What have you struggled with? What small victory have you already achieved? I read every comment, and I promise you, your story matters. You never know who might read it and feel less alone, more encouraged, more understood. And if you know someone, maybe a parent, a partner, a friend, who's been struggling with sleep, please share this video with them. It might just be the beginning of a new chapter in their life, too. We've got more videos coming soon on brain health, joint strength, mobility, nutrition for seniors, and so much more. So hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss what's next. This community is built for people just like you, wise, strong, curious, and ready to take back control over how you age. You deserve peace at night. You deserve energy in the morning. You deserve a body and mind that support you, not slow you down. And it all starts with sleep. So tonight, choose stillness. Choose lightness. Choose the bedtime that chooses you back. Sleep well, and I'll see you in the next video.